Okie dokie. Howdy, hey folks. Welcome or welcome back. Today I wanted to share with you kind of a journal slash planner update. Just like a chatty walkthrough of how I used my planners and journals in July. And yeah, it's currently the 31st of July as I'm filming this. And it's been a fun month. I spent the month getting back into my journals and planners. It's been a while since I've been consistent with these things until this month, and it's been really, really good. So yeah, I guess we'll just start at the beginning of the month with my pocket notebooks. Push these off to the side a little bit, there we go. Coming out of kind of a planning slump, I set up this pocket notebook system. And I planned in here for the first half of July, the end of June, I guess, as well. And it was working really, really well. I had this, I think I did a whole video on how I have this set up. So I have the one book for the scheduling and planning and whatnot, and then my everyday carry for everyday notes and task lists and everything else that I need. I kind of developed this process of reviewing my notes and just highlighting important parts of it that I wanted to stand out. Normally headers, just so that it's easier to find what the writing was about. I essentially was bullet journaling, rapid logging my days so that I could get back into the practice of actually journaling every day. And I'll show you my journal a little later on in the video. But I found that when I'm daily journaling, I need a reference to go off of, because it's normally on the night of that day or the next morning that I'll journal, or sometimes a day or two later. So having this kind of outline of what my day looked like and being able to look at it helps me a lot. I used this field notes. Let's see, how long did I use this? I believe I started it on, well, technically June 30th, but I started it truly on July 1st, and I finished it on the 10th. So this took me about 10 days to fill. They are pretty small notebooks, so I'm not surprised at all that it didn't even take me 2 weeks to fill it, especially because I was excited. This was my first true field notes that I've ever used. So, you know, it was an exciting experience, and I'm definitely probably going to get more of these. Either get more of these or make more, like this one that I made a while back. This was my second pocket notebook for the month, which I'm still working in. This is my current everyday carry. I've got roughly 30 pages left to go in here, because it has significantly more pages than your field notes does. Yeah, I had a lot of fun in here, just thinking through planner things and writing down quotes and thinking through my problem with my phone and being on it too much, taking notes from videos, like YouTube videos that I've been watching, or just thought experiments. I find it very, very useful to have a place to just write as much or as little as I want, and just be able to get my thoughts down on paper, you know? I know I think far more clearly on paper than I do out loud, which you might be able to tell by how rambly my videos can get, at least when I don't script them. So that's my pocket notebook. This was for the beginning of the month. I might go back to this at some point, but at the moment, my planning is now done in my rings planner again. About mid-month, I started really missing my rings again. I just missed the ability to fit whatever I need to in here. I just did a flip through of this, so I'm not going to flip through all of the pages, but There are a few things that I think are good to bring up. The core of this system is definitely my monthlies, where I write all of my day-specific tasks and events and whatnot. This, paired with my pocket notebook, is truly all that I need to remain functional throughout the day. And sometimes I do need to simplify my system down to just these two tools. But when I have the capacity for tracking my life and collecting that data, I love to do that. So I have all of these trackers here in the front, and then I have daily pages back here. Again, these daily pages don't technically have to be here. I can do all of that in my pocket notebook if I want to, but I also do like having it here. Given I've done that other flip through, I think that's about all I can say for this right now. So we will move on to my journals. I have a 10-year diary and a daily journal. Right now my daily journal is in an A5 Stalogy, and it's very, very simple. I started this as well near the beginning of July. I have some backfilling from June just to have those memories in there and to start reflecting on my past month, so that I can be a little more clear about what I want to do looking forward. I got a lot of this methodology from Ryder Carroll over at the Bullet Journal. As you can see, I've got a little bit of catching up to do in my monthly so that I can then do my reflection and plan for August. I haven't done that yet. Maybe I'll make a video on that. Maybe I won't. I don't know. We'll see. Stay tuned, I guess. We'll see how much time I have. So this is what my dailies look like. On the back of this flap here, I have a picture of my kiddo, whom I don't share online, so it's helpful for me that it's behind a flap. And I just write about my days. To do this, I normally pick 3 or 4 moments from the day to explore and record and lay out my thoughts on. As you can see, I use some cute stickers sometimes, or I use my Tombos. I use my fancy pens in this journal. Whereas with my planners, I'm using a cheap ballpoint and whatever paper I can find, and just keeping it very, very low maintenance. But with this is my creative space. Not that it's super creative at all. I like to have kind of the same layout and theme throughout. I like having these margins on the side. I'll use those in different ways. A lot of times, as you can see, they're left blank. Sometimes I use them to add more notes after I've done my journaling, or I add decorations, or I add pictures in that space. And then recently I've started also using this as a brain dump space, just taking up as many pages as I need to get my thoughts out. I'm not sure how much I'm going to continue this. There's a part of me that really wants this to just be a memory book, but then there's part of me that needs an extra space to do this brain dump. I could do it in here. Maybe I should do it in here, because this space is perfect for brain dump thoughts that I just need to get out and I don't need to look at again. Putting them in a small space like this that I fill up and I set aside and I move on to another one, that can be very, very helpful and very healing depending on what you're writing about. I plan on using this for the rest of the year, at least, if not further. This notebook has 368 pages, so definitely not going to run out of room anytime soon. But I guess the reason I started memory keeping in here as opposed to continuing memory keeping in my rings is that I missed the archival ability of a bound notebook. My memories from the first half of the year are in this Franklin Covey compact archive binder. And this, I believe, is only till March in here. And as you can see, I have maybe room for 1 more month in here if I continued journaling the way I have been. My plan, since I have this A5 now, is that I'm not going to keep my daily pages from my rings. That way I'll save on space for archiving these pages, and then I can have my memories all together in one book from the year. And then another ongoing project that I have is my 10-year diary. This has been a labor of love. I actually started this in the end of 2024, but I have it dated back to through 2023. So I backfilled 2023 and most of 2024 because there were memories from those years that I wanted to have alongside the next, 8-9 years of memories in here. I met my husband in 2023, so those are mostly the memories I wanted to have in here. So there's a lot of 2023 that's empty, and there's a lot of 2024 that's empty. And there's days from 2025 and thus far in 2026 that are also empty because I need to be more intentional with this. And I've got about 3 or 4 months worth of 2026 pages that I need to get back to. And one of the beauties of journaling every day, either in my rings or in my memory keeper, is that I have the record to be able to backdate this. This is definitely a long-term project, and I've really been enjoying figuring out how to keep a journal for this long. The novelty of it definitely wears off after a minute, but then if you stick with it, it develops this nostalgic feeling to it. You go from novelty to nostalgia with this book as you go through it through the years. 10-year is definitely an undertaking compared to a 5-year, but I wanted to have all of those memories together. So I'm on year 4 of 10, and it could be going better, but it is also going quite well. Maybe another time I'll find some pages that I can show you, and I'll give you a flip through of this and kind of my philosophy behind why I chose this journal and my journey through this so far. Thank you so much for watching this little video. It's not really intended to be anything special or amazing. I just kind of wanted to share how it's been going with you guys. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you have a wonderful day, and I hope you're having as much fun in your planners and journals as I've been having. Bye-bye.